communities towards Shawnee, Kearney, and we know we're going to be having to open up shelters clearly, and we're definitely going to make sure that we get out there and get that relief as soon as possible. We're waiting for the clear, and we're in contact with emergency management at this time. I can say that our volunteers are already on the ground in the Edmond area and moving towards Luther, handing out water and cleanup kits to those areas right now, as the storms had already passed those areas earlier in the day. But right now we are assessing what's going on, and we are definitely going to be getting out there. Clearly there's a lot of work ahead, and if anyone wants to assist the Red Cross, the best thing that they can do, go to redcross.org to make a donation to disaster relief, or text Red Cross to 90999. That's a $10 donation.
And Ken, how many volunteers do you have out there right now able to hit these hard-hit areas?
We have hundreds of volunteers that are mobilized. We've been ready to go since Friday of last week, knowing that these storms were coming. And so we've been in contact with everyone. People are starting to call up our office saying, do you need me? Do you need me? And our parking lot's beginning to fill up with volunteers coming in. I know right now we're in a meeting discussing how we are going to be tackling and getting out into these communities. Obviously, the first thing that we're going to want to do is establish the need if we're going to be needing shelters for families. And based on what I'm seeing on the TV, odds are we are definitely going to be needing to open up shelters, and we'll be out there with water. We're going to be helping first responders to make sure they are taken care of while they're taking care of our community. So this is going to be a huge undertaking, and the Red Cross is most definitely up to the task, and we are ready to go.
And Ken, you said you've been in contact with emergency management. You already have crews on the ground there in Edmond, and I believe you said Luther. What are some of the areas that you guys are planning on going into?
Well, I know that we are discussing the need for a shelter for the Kearney area. We're just trying to nail down where we're going to be opening that. And as far as Shawnee, the storm...
And Ken, just really quickly, Sky 5, and we'll keep you on the line, Ken,
yeah.
But Sky 5 is showing us live right now as these emergency crews have someone on a stretcher, and they are walking them to what we can assume perhaps an ambulance, or walking them to a place where they can give this person care. Again, as our photojournalist John Norton told us, they have had to walk through the debris piles to find people who may be trapped and need help.
And look at the other people coming in to help these guys. I mean, I saw 7 people carrying this, and some other, looks like firefighters have jumped in to help, because they're having to carry this person for a very, very long distance to just get them to some aid right there. They can't get through it.
They themselves walking over debris that is across the roadway in their path that they're trying to get through. Again, we assume perhaps to an ambulance so they can get this person some better care, or over to a hospital. You see here, they're kind of making their way over to some of the vehicles. But, I mean, when Sky 5 was showing us the debris pile, I mean, this just goes on and on. So these guys are going in, and ladies going in on foot, trying to see if they can find anyone who needs help, and this person certainly did, on a stretcher, making their way over to some of these emergency vehicles to get this person the help that they need.
Yeah, it looks like they're finally getting over to that. But we've been looking at this for, what, a couple of minutes here, and who knows how far they've had to carry this person to get them over to some assistance right there. And this is the scene that is playing out in this mobile home park. This is the Shawnee areas where we're talking about, and where Sky 5 has been over this mobile home park that was just destroyed, nothing left of it.
You have 8 men who are carrying someone on a stretcher right now over to these emergency vehicles to get them their help that they need. Again, this is at Highway 102 and Independence. This is in the Shawnee area, not far from the Shawnee Reservoir, at a mobile home park that was just obliterated.
So, Ken, we won't keep you but another second if you're still on the line with us.
Here.
So, you guys, the rest of the evening, these are the areas you guys are headed out to.
Absolutely, and as you're talking about here on your screen, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to go out there and help. And obviously, it is not exactly the best place to be right now with all the debris that is around. So the best thing you can do is let the first responders do their job. Our volunteers are not even going to get in there until we are told that it is safe for us to do so. The Red Cross is not a search and rescue agency. We are a relief agency, so our volunteers are not going to be picking through the homes. That's why we say the best thing that you can do to help out these residents that have been impacted by these storms is, again, redcross.org to make a donation, or by texting Red Cross to 90999. And again, our hearts go out to those who have been impacted by these terrible storms. And we are going to make sure that the community here, especially what we're seeing on your screen there in Shawnee, that they are resilient and able to bounce back, and we are going to be there to make sure they can.
Ken Garcia with the Red Cross, thank you very much. I'm sure that we'll be talking to you several times throughout the next couple of days here as we go through the recovery mode of this. And the scary part of this is there's another threat of storms tomorrow.
But what a moment to watch this live from Sky 5. You can see someone, a victim, on a stretcher in the back of a sheriff's truck with firefighters by his side trying to get this person the help that he needs. What a moment to watch this unfold live from Sky 5 right now, and just shows the dire situation there at this mobile home park at Highway 102 in Independence, where these crews had to carry this person out. It's not that often that you see someone on a stretcher in the back of a truck, not in the ambulance, because they couldn't get the ambulance over to that area because of the debris.
There's so much in the roadways right there. Sky 5 has showed you the scene, and it's just one of the things that you don't think about. You think, oh, the ambulances can pop in there and just pick up anybody that's hurt, but they cannot get in there, and they have to be very careful with this guy.
And we are getting some information from Norman Regional Hospital. We just spoke with them, and they are getting people coming in with injuries to the hospital, to the Porter campus there. We're not sure at this point if these are injuries from the Shawnee area or east of Lake Thunderbird area, but Norman Regional Hospital is starting to see more patients coming in with injuries after the tornadoes that have moved through here. Now you're watching a gurney. Paramedics walk up with a gurney to get this person onto it, strapped on safely and carefully, to hopefully get this person over to an ambulance and into a hospital.
It's been a major distance that we have seen and been following along with this. I mean, we saw 7 to 8 people carrying this person. Then on the truck, they had to take a ride in the truck over to the gurney. And now we don't see the ambulance yet. I'm guessing that it's very nearby at this point.
And I just got word from our crews here in the newsroom telling us that the injuries coming into Norman Regional Hospital from the Bethel Acres area, that's where they're starting to see an influx of patients coming in from the Bethel Acres area. And here we are live from Sky 5. This is the Shawnee area, showing you a victim making their way as paramedics push them along this dirt roadway. It looks to be a dirt roadway, over to this ambulance, perhaps, to get this person to a hospital. Yeah,
we don't know the extent of the injuries on this person, but certainly he's not able to get up and mobile himself at all. They've had to carry him, physically carry him with people, then on the back of the truck, now onto this stretcher. And it has been a long way. We've been watching this for a while, and we're not at the ambulance yet.
And let's think about, if we can go back and think about the time frame of when this hit. Maybe Rusty or Damon can just chime in just briefly of when this hit. Here we are, we're approaching the 8 o'clock hour. It's been at least an hour, right guys, since this tornado. At least an hour since this tornado hit over there just east of the Shawnee Reservoir at Highway 102 and Independence Road. So at least an hour later, and here we are seeing this scene.
And he's finally arriving at the ambulance to get the help that he needs.
Finally making his way. And as we've been watching, we watched them carry this person, take the person over to a truck, and now being loaded into an ambulance. And there's been several minutes of this. So just think about just the situation there. It took several emergency crews to help out this one person. But think about all of the debris we saw, and who knows how many mobile homes that were destroyed, and who knows how many people may have been riding out the storm inside those mobile homes.
And I mean, this person sat there for what? I mean, as Damon said, the storm blew through, well more than an hour ago. He's laid there waiting on that assistance, probably couldn't get up at all, and then it finally came, and it took several minutes to get there. But boy, it's good to see that he's in the ambulance getting the help that he needs. And you know, this isn't the only place where there's damage. The town of Kearney got it too.
They did. So many different places here in Oklahoma dealing with tornado damage right now. Let's go live to KOCO's Patty Moon, who is on the ground there in Kearney, showing us some of the damage there. And Patty, first off, just tell us where you are and what you're seeing.
Jessica, we're here at the Equal Energy Company. We're just a little bit south of town, and in every single direction you look from where we are, there is destruction, debris just all over the place. In fact, take a look. This is a door that was ripped off of a building, and we're pretty much just going to walk you through, show you the damage that we're seeing here. But this is an office building. There is a safe room above ground here. We spoke to some of the people who were inside that safe room. There were about 15 people huddled in the safe room. They say when the tornado ripped through, they could hear it. It was just this deafening sound. All of their ears just hurt so much, and they had children with them who were crying, but thankfully nobody in that safe room was hurt. The building heavily damaged, as you saw. If we pan over, this is apparently where workers worked during the day. That's what I'm told. It's completely unrecognizable, this building. And as we pan over for you, we're going to show you this is where there was equipment, a lot of damage here, and along the fencing you'll notice all those little strips of yellow. That is insulation from buildings, and we are seeing yellow and pink insulation just all over the town of Kearney. I mean, this was insulation that was in buildings, in people's homes. It's just everywhere. There is debris all over the place. We haven't gotten any reports of serious injuries at this point, but emergency responders are busy in this area. They're trying to check up on everybody. We're not exactly sure how many homes were damaged, but some of the people in town say that they definitely think more than 20 homes were damaged. They did get a few reports of injuries. They say nothing super serious, but people did have to be taken to the hospital. Of course, we're going to be continuing to be out here in Kearney and making sure about people's injuries and homes. We have been talking with people in town, and they say that a lot of the people, this is a town of only a couple hundred people, so everybody is trying to check up on everybody else. But guys, the devastation in this area, it's just horrific. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Patty. You know, I was just looking yet. It's not a very big place. Kearney is a small town, and it is sort of rural. If there's any good news there, it's not the heavily populated area. So there's a home here, and then several acres later, there's another home there. But boy, you can see they got a lot of damage.
And I don't know if Patty's still hooked up, but we'll have to see if she can go over and talk to maybe some of the people in that area who rode out the storm in that safe room, so we can hear from them their firsthand account of what that was like.
And look at it, we're back here up in Shawnee now from Sky 5, and you can see some hugs going on right there from some of the damage from this mobile home park that has just been completely devastated.
Yeah, you see adults, you see kids, as Paul said. Some people, just giving hugs. You can only imagine what they went through and how scary that must have been for the kids and the adults, for everyone who rode this out. A lot of different people gathering here now near Highway 102 and Independence, this mobile home park that was destroyed by a tornado that came through and just ripped it apart, tore it to shreds. Amazing that there were actually even two mobile homes that we could see that looked like they were still standing. But look at all of the people now coming out into this area, and it'll be interesting to get on the ground and hear their stories of where they were whenever this came through. Are these people who lived in these mobile homes? And as Sky 5 is showing us, now we can kind of get a better idea, because we hadn't seen these. You see some more mobile homes, Paul, if you look just at the very top of Sky 5 that actually did make it out okay. So this is a very large mobile home park that we're talking about here in Shawnee.
Yeah, it'll be interesting also to find out if there is some sort of shelter for this mobile home park. It was a little more than a year ago, Woodward had a very large tornado that destroyed a mobile home park, and they still haven't rebuilt it yet, but they've been putting the infrastructure back there, and the thing that they are doing is putting in underground shelters there in Woodward, because it's such a life-saving thing, especially when you have so many folks that are living in a mobile home.
And we did talk to the Red Cross. We know that they said there's a good chance they could be opening up shelters after looking at, this video from Sky 5, these live pictures from Sky 5.